Dopamine. The reason why we fought. The reason why we conquered. The reason why we traveled. Explored, had sex, danced, hunted, and so much more. So why is it so dangerous? Normally, we're not chasing success, but the feeling of dopamine being released in our body. If you have received a medal, it is not the value of the medal, but the emotions associated with it. So we're like a rat chasing after cheese if the cheese were dopamine. And now, imagine that there is someone who has control over the cheese. This would be really alarming, right? It would force you to do anything at once in exchange for dopamine. And what if it had infinite amount of dopamine? Meaning it would be the most powerful institution in the world. Fortunately, all this is just fiction, not true. Or is it? Unfortunately, this is not fiction. This is the reality, and not just reality, but the alarming truth. Huge, greedy, and hungry companies have invested a lot of money in researching how they can give you the most dopamine for as little output as possible. They understood that the more dopamine you consume, the more addicted the user becomes, and the higher the profit. So they created mobile phones, televisions, PlayStation, TikTok, Netflix, and so on. All of these things are only successful because they release a large amount of dopamine in your brain. They have made you drug addict, and if you think this is an exaggeration, dopamine is the only reason why they're a drug addict. Dopamine is the real reason why addicts keep going back to their drugs. Their dopamine receptors are so burnt out that it's very difficult to find happiness in other things. And if you think that's all, my friend, we've just begun. The research companies seeking maximum happiness in the form of dopamine are still in the beginning. We're already talking about the metaverse, which offers the user a world where they can get everything for as little energy as possible. The user can look good, be muscular, fast, strong, intelligent. There are no limits, and they don't even have to try. Doctors are throwing antidepressants around like they were Tic Tacs. And all of this driven by the greed of companies who want to keep you as a slave to your impulse in order to extract as much money from you as possible. You know how far drug addicts will go for their next fix? Imagine if they created machines that produce dopamine just like heroin, cocaine, and other drugs, and then threatened to take them away from us. They could do anything they wanted with the population and even anything from them. Maybe this is your last chance to break free from this cycle, to not be a slave to your impulses, to not let your hormones distract you to reach your full potential. But is that even possible anymore? Humanity has often stood on the brink of extinction. Wars, plagues, environmental disasters, financial crisis, dictators. Yet, despite it all, humanity has managed to survive and emerge stronger from every obstacle. That is the story of human nature. This time, it seems to be our greatest challenge. For the first time, we're being enslaved, and it feels pleasant, a kind of sweet poison. Personally, I believe that the battle is lost. Big corporations are delving deep into our private lives, almost into our thoughts. I do not think we can come back as a society. The temptations are too great and our will has become too weak. But still, individual people can still find their way back to the right path. So, am I talking about you? Do you have dreams, expectations, a vision of life you want more? A life that would probably fulfill you more than your current life? But instead of starting to strive for this life in this current moment, you're on your phone watching TikToks or YouTube videos. Not only you lose sight of your dreams, but you also struggle to keep your room clean, take care of your hygiene and exercise. then I'm probably talking about you. Don't get me wrong, there are people that are completely happy with their current situation and prefer to watch Netflix, go to parties and go shopping in their free time. That is completely okay, but it's essential to understand that now will be the peak of your life, and you will be in the same position for the rest of your life if you don't work on your potential, and never as young as now. So if I'm talking about you, there's only one question for you. How can I fulfill my potential? And what is my full potential? So what exactly does it mean to reach your full potential? Simply put, it's a process of becoming the best version of yourself by tapping into your inherent strengths and abilities and working towards achieving your goals and dreams. Reaching your full potential is not about being perfect. It's about pushing yourself to grow and improve in all aspects of your life. Reaching your full potential is a lifelong journey, and it's never too late to start. So now let's talk about all those things that are standing between you and your full potential. Look around your environment. It is stuffed with cheap dopamine, fast food, TV, computer and mobile phones. Your brain is programmed to find dopamine as quickly as possible while burning as little energy as possible. However, it does not differentiate between good and bad dopamine. It is your task to fulfill that with your concussion and willpower. It is your job to arrange your environment so that you do not surround yourself with cheap dopamine, and above all, you must program your brain to avoid cheap dopamine in order to improve the quality of life in the long term. Cheap dopamine refers to all unnatural dopamine releases that you receive in fast food, TikTok, YouTube, and so on. But don't worry, you're not giving up dopamine. You're just shifting it to the future. We want to replace cheap dopamine with good dopamine. What I mean by that is that dopamine should be released after an activity and not during it, like with cheap dopamine. For example, imagine that feeling that you have when you're going to bed after having eaten healthy, exercised, cleaned your room, studied for school or work, and not spent on your phone all day. You probably won't feel good while cleaning your room, but only after you finished it. With cheap dopamine, you feel good during the activity, but bad afterwards. For example, eating a burger. The generic term for this is called delayed gratification. Delayed gratification refers to the ability to resist the temptation of an immediate reward in order to receive a large, much more valuable reward in the future. It's a skill that can be developed and has been shown to be a key predictor of success in various areas of life, including academic achievements, career success, and personal relationships. The ability to delay gratification requires a certain level of self-control and willpower. It can be challenging, especially in a world where instant gratification is often the norm. With the advent of technology, we have become accustomed to getting what we want immediately, whether it's food delivery or instant entertainment. However, the ability to delay gratification has been shown to have numerous benefits. Studies have shown that individuals who are able to delay gratification are more likely to achieve their goals in life. They are also less likely to experience impulsive behavior and addiction. One of the most famous studies is the marshmallow study. In this experiment, children were offered a marshmallow and told that they could eat it immediately or wait 15 minutes and receive a second marshmallow. The children that were able to wait for the second marshmallow and delay the gratification were found to have better outcomes in various areas of life. In conclusion, delaying gratification is a valuable skill that can bring numerous benefits in personal and social life. It requires self-control and willpower, but it can be developed through practice and determination. And now let's talk about all those habits that are going to help you to develop the skill of delaying gratification. Habits will be your best friend to undertake this journey. Habits will help you during difficult times if you can't find the motivation to keep going. So the question is, how do we create habits? First of all, I would like you to introduce a book that helped me a lot. It is a really popular book and it's about how to create habits to achieve your life goals. I don't want to go into too much details on this topic, and I will only briefly touch what I will discuss in another video. A big tip I can give you is to create a list of tasks for the next day. The list should fill your entire day and be as detailed as possible. The tasks on your list should directly or indirectly lead you to your goals. Repeat this process every day. Habits will crystallize after 2 weeks if you diligently follow your list. The things you will do will become your habit and the person you are. But the much bigger tip I can give you is to make an active change. Even if I give you the best tips, if you aren't ready to make this big decision to change as a person, those tips won't help you. But if I give really bad tips to a person that is dedicated and want to avoid cheap dopamine, even those tips will help. So if you liked this video, it would be amazing if you would follow me or just hit a like on this video. Thank you that you're still watching, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.